Hey guys, Footy Focus Podcast, episode 16B, right? We got 16A. Post up later.
Might load that up onto the end of this.
Yeah.
How was your weekend, Chanaka?
Oh, it was horrendous. So we went to
Really?
the Port North game. We'll talk about that a bit later. So
Yeah, I had a great weekend.
Yeah, you had-
That was 3 hours. Fair enough though. Like you guys have been us last 5 times, so we got
Yeah.
one back. So
yeah, so pity Pico didn't have his housewarming on Saturday night actually.
no, I was very glad.
Yeah.
Would have been at the footy anyway, but okay. So do you want to start off with some non-footy chat?
Yeah. So the Ashes, obviously the main one. So second,
Yeah, I didn't. So you're gonna have to do most of the talking here because I didn't
Did you follow it?
follow it too much. The second test. Was
Second
it?
test, yeah.
See?
You would have heard about something. I'll talk about that in a sec.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
second test was a draw, so it's pretty much 2.5 to 3 days of washout, the typical English weather. We predicted last week that Jofra Archer would target Steve Smith with a short ball barrage.
Mm-hmm.
He actually hit Smith in the neck, so he turned
Yeah, I
away
saw
from the ball.
that
You would have
clip,
seen
yeah.
that, yeah.
Looked pretty bad under
Yeah,
the
it was-
helmet. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
you-
it was sort of on the side, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
so he turned and they hit him right on the neck. So normally,
Mhm.
I think they're trying to. I think after the Phil Hughes incident, where obviously he passed away,
Mm.
they were trying to get some protection in that area.
A
But
lot of players do have that extra protection. Does he not? Didn't have that?
I think it's a comfortability thing. It's a bit
Okay,
like
some
wearing
players-
like two
okay,
thigh
yeah,
pads,
okay.
and it's hard to run between.
Because I've
wickets.
seen some players have that coming down almost to under their ear, sort of thing.
Yeah, so I was going to say it should be mandatory. That
Yeah.
should be mandatory after this because you don't want to see anyone. Yeah, it was really sickening. I think they shouldn't have replays of it too. You could you can still get replays now, which is pretty disappointing. He actually returned to the crease to add another 12 runs. Thought he showed unbelievable courage. The doc probably should.
And did he get out after that?
Yeah, he got
after
out.
12?
Did you see how he got out? He left the ball on middle stump,
Oh,
pretty much.
okay.
So
That's his only weakness. There you go.
well, I think he was still concussed. So
yeah. So how did he pass the concussion test? Did they not
so
have
he
one?
passed it
Immediately.
Passed it immediately,
Oh, well,
and
they
then
say so.
and then he woke up the next morning and they tested him again, and he had delayed onset
okay.
of concussion. So he got ruled out for the rest of the test. His replacement, actually, I think the first sub in Test history, Marcus Labouche, can't pronounce it, but he actually made 59, so he probably saved the test for Australia. So I think he'll play for the
Isn't
rest
that
of
a
the
French
series.
character?
It's a South African guy. Did he say it? Labouche? I'll send you the link of it. His name is horrendous spelling. So
Isn't Phoebe's surname Labouche or something? Do you
I
remember?
think one of her fake ones.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, that's good.
Should be nicknamed Phoebe.
So
So no, with the concussion, if you get hit in the head by a cricket ball, I think
Yeah.
you shouldn't come back on. You should just
No, you
be
should come
retired. It
back
should be
on.
like a rule, like mandatory.
that's what I was going to ask you. So should
Oh,
he
yeah.
have been let back on? Because
No,
he
of
obviously
course
was
not.
concussed, and he got ruled out the next day. So he couldn't
Yeah,
go in the
okay,
second
yeah.
innings.
I reckon if you get hit in the helmet, then you can come on. Like they can do the
just
test.
replace the helmet, yeah.
Yeah, and do the test, whatever. But
Yeah.
if it's in the head, like clearly was in like
Yeah.
ball on skin sort of thing, then yeah, it should be you're out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what
They're
they
not
do.
saying that just because he's a great batsman and we don't want Australia to win, but just
Yeah,
as
exactly.
a safety sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, you see it in the footy. Every time a player gets concussed, I mean, 90-95% of the time they're ruled out for the rest of the match and
Mhm.
the next week too. So, yeah, we'll see how we go next week, but we'll talk about the third test.
So did England fight back a bit this test?
Yeah, so they were on top. I think Archer was, I guess, the key. So he probably replaced Anderson and did a bit better because he's got a bit more pace.
Mhm.
So it looked like intimidation. He hit, I think, 3 or 4 Aussies. He hit Smith on the elbow, I think, before he hit him on the head. So if he gets a full 5
Okay,
days, yeah, it's a bit dangerous
So
now.
England, after they got smashed in the first test, they're sort of getting some
I
confidence
mean-
and building some form.
Yeah, they probably would have won if it was 5 days.
Okay,
So
yeah. Did you hear about Archer? The West Indies want to try and not let what happened to him happen more.
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
So what's happened? So he's not. So is Archer from England though? He's not born in England. That's the issue, right? He's
I don't
born
know.
in the Caribbean.
Okay, yeah.
So
And then he left when he was not a baby or anything, but when he was.
he didn't get selected in an under-19 squad, I think. It's a bit like Kevin Peterson. Kevin Peterson didn't get selected in some underage teams and then
Yeah, okay.
said I should play for England and play, actually, instead of sitting on the sidelines. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a big loss for West Indies because he's probably their best bowler.
Yeah. Oh well.
Star of the World Cup. So, got something we are grateful for today, and you got a good one this week?
Yeah, so I think it was maybe on Wednesday, one of Australia's most
Best ever.
best ever footballers passed away. So his name was Graham Polly Farmer. And do you know what his middle name was when I was researching I found out his middle name's Vivian.
Vivian?
Yeah. It's a lot of famous Vivians, aren't there?
Oh, like
The
Vivian
cricket-
Rich.
yeah,
Vivian Rich
that
or
sort of thing,
something.
yeah.
Okay, it's not a girl one.
Yeah, anyway, so Polly Farmer, he died aged 84 and he suffered from Alzheimer's disease for more than a decade. He was known as a trailblazer for Indigenous players in Australia, and he was a member of the Stolen Generation as well. He was raised by a sister, like a Catholic sister. Yeah, and
Didn't know that.
yeah, it was in this article I was
Yeah.
reading. So he was an orphan pretty much, and he ended up playing 356 games at AFL. Back in the day it was VFL and Waffle, Western Australian Football League level, for East Perth, Geelong, and then he went back for West Perth.
Did he win flags at all three teams?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
did,
he
and he
did, didn't he?
coached.
Yeah.
I think he coached Geelong later, as well. First Indigenous coach. Yeah,
Okay.
between 1973 and 75.
Okay.
So he's regarded as one of the best because he revolutionized the role of ruckman.
Yeah.
So and he's brought handballing into the game more.
Yes, that
so
was him, yeah.
yeah, more offensive handballing, I think. Whereas back in the day they would just kick it and probably get a
Yeah.
rare handball. But yeah, he really brought that. So obviously we haven't seen him play or anything, but we can only go by the history, and I think it's important to know a little bit about the history of the game as well. So yeah, so he was, a lot of players paid, ex-players paid tribute to him as well. So guys like Barry Cable, I think, and yeah, so he had a bout of polio in his childhood. So his left leg is a bit shorter than his other one.
This makes his career even more remarkable.
Yeah,
at the end of the
yeah,
day.
and Sam Newman was a big fan of him, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Remember? Yeah. So I think Sam Newman he'd mentioned, talked a
He was
bit
his mentor,
about,
yeah.
about him a lot. So I think he's mentioned that as well. I remember, but yeah, I think that Western Australia, they've got a highway named after him. as
Yeah,
well.
I've been on that
You
highway,
have?
yeah,
Okay,
Farmer.
You've been to Perth a few times.
15
Alright,
to be
cool.
exact.
You have a grateful for this week?
Yeah, so I've got, while I'm back on Polly
Oh,
Farmer,
Farmer
do you reckon
again.
he's the best ever Indigenous footballer? Because a
I
lot of
have no
players have been
idea.
saying he is.
Yeah, I reckon.
I think he's the ruckman in the team of the century, and
Yeah, he must have been a gun, yeah, if he's the best ever.
well, he's
'cause-
always in the top three of, I guess, any list. When they're talking about Schoenberg on the other week, and
Yeah.
he's always in the top three.
I reckon at the moment, mine would be Franklin.
Yeah.
Maybe then second Goods.
But if we saw
But
Farmer, he
Yeah,
might be
imagine if
number
this
one,
guy's
yeah.
better than Franklin. That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
So you got my
You've
grateful.
got another player,
Yeah, another player.
current day
Should
player.
change it up.
Live. He's not dead. So.
So Lincoln McCarthy. So he's more so the mark. He didn't play the best of games, but probably the best, I guess, mark to win a home and away game that
Yeah.
I can remember at
It
least.
was a good mark. He was almost horizontal when he took it.
Yeah, it was
It was a
stud-
fair mark as well.
no studs up.
No.
No?
Ooh, I had to have another look. I don't think so. I think it was knee first.
Okay, so
But that's been they're allowed to do that now.
yeah, they had to do that.
You reckon
change
players
that.
will start to exploit it now, like intentionally put their studs
There's
up
not
in the
many
market?
players that do it though. Probably Howe and Revolt are probably the only two that are.
There's
There's not many
not,
more
but-
high flyers in the league.
But you can
That's
start
probably
practicing at that training and try to
that's
get an
true.
advantage. But I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, continue.
Yeah, so he's had an injury-riddled career so far. I think you might have mentioned him earlier in the pod when early in the season when Brisbane were doing really well. So he
Yeah,
only reached
yeah,
his 50th game on the weekend. Hopefully got on top of the injuries now. He's special talent. That won them the game and probably the minor premiership if things go well for Brisbane this week.
Yeah, he's one of those X factor type of forwards. Yeah, he could bob up to kick 3 or 4.
Yeah,
and go
Geelong
in
really
the
rated him.
final.
I think he just wanted a
like
fresh start. And
Bartel, Ling always talk about how highly he was rated.
he's best mates with Lachie Neale too, so that probably helped.
Yeah, so he's
make
played.
the move
They
easier.
were saying, he's in 7 years at Geelong. He played 21 games or
Yeah.
something, and he's played 20 or
Already,
something like that.
So he's
Yeah,
matched
and
it in
he's-
the young.
Yeah, so no good on him. That just shows you if you're having if your career's like that, injury prone, change of scenery might be
Yeah.
the best. So the more that clubs look for these players and find them, the better. Like Pittard is another example.
Oh,
He
yeah.
had a couple of injury interrupted years, but yeah. So I reckon you can look at the draft and look at the gun trade, like
Yeah.
Brad Hills and whoever.
Yeah.
But yeah, finding a Lincoln McCarthy, it's
Yeah.
as valuable.
I think Daniel Menzel might do the same for the Swans when he maybe next year when he gets a bit of continuity. Too.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
So we've got the main segment this week.
Yeah, I think I might talk a little bit more about the upcoming draft in November. So I still haven't watched any footy. I was gonna watch a little bit of the under 18s,
Under
but
18s, yeah.
no, I was too busy watching the replay of our
Oh,
game.
shut up.
I watched
on.
most of it. It was actually better on TV. So let's just talk a little bit about 3 South Australian draftees, which you might focus on after this week.
Okay.
So your pick is like your 4 picks earlier now.
And the Crows.
Yeah.
Crows got pick 3.
All right, so this is just going by limited vision and more reading expert and draft gurus forms.
From who? Our
Couple,
man?
Cal Toomey and also a couple in the Big Footy draft forum.
Okay.
So Harry Schoenberg they're all midfielders, I think, this week. So he's an inside mid, 180 centimeters. Looking at that second round range, so he had a really strong championships. He wasn't sort of on the radar before this, and now he's at number 25 in Cal's ranking. So he's a prolific ball-winning midfielder. He's good at the contested ball, but also has that burst out of stoppages. Yeah. Good endurance and speed, which is important in today's.
Yeah,
you got to be
100%.
able to spread, yeah.
Yeah, two-way runs.
Yeah, so he's got a good balance of inside and outside, and one of the draft gurus compared him to Dylan Shields. So his kicking might be a bit
that's
iffy.
what I was going to ask you. How's his kicking?
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, we'll see how he goes. Dylan Stevens is probably the best out of the 3 I'm going to mention. So he's a bit more of your outside mid as well. Shows Andrew Gaff-like tendency. So he's got that run and carry, and he's a really good kick. So classy ball loser. Maybe not as quick as he would have liked to, but yeah, bit of endurance, can play that arc to arc role.
Yeah.
So he's good for transition.
Perfect as a wing.
Someone like that might complement Port Adelaide's list with Wines, Palpepper.
Oh, Adelaide too. They're like a
yeah,
bit
exactly.
of
I
leg speed
think
in the midfield
both
too.
teams. Yeah, your list needs more midfield depth
Yeah.
and good endurance, which is always good. And Cameron Tahini, I think, is a medium forward, a 185 centimeter. So this guy reminds me a little bit of like that Cam Zerha type of bigger bodied, but with skill as well. So he's got a bit of attitude issues.
Okay.
So, but guys like Jack Darling had them as well, so he seemed to iron them out. So he kicked 4 goals in Norwood, so that's his senior team. So someone like that might be pretty good as well. So he's a mercurial forward. That means like Jamie Elliott type sort of thing. Yeah, like has that speed and can take his chances around goal. So and Taylor Garner's the other one that sort of looks like. So you can even couple him up with someone like Rosie. So there's sort of 3 players, South Australian boys.
Well, I think that's what you look for. I think the last 2 that you'd mentioned, they've played Sandford footy, and that's what I guess that's the really impressive thing. Like the big boys obviously don't play VFL; they play under 18s. Like Rosie's played start in a premiership team.
Yeah.
If you can do that as an underager, then I think your prospects look much better.
And Stevens, he had 32 possessions in his first Sandford game, reserve Sandford game.
Yeah.
But for the seniors, he's averaging 18 possessions.
It's still pretty solid,
which is really good. Yeah. So he might potentially be a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
Even at North, I would love him like someone like that.
Okay.
So with that spread, so yeah.
Look out for him.
We might do some other players, maybe Western Australian players next week or something.
For a Freo team anyway.
Yeah, so we might start the game reviews. There was potentially the game of the season on Sunday, Tigers and Eagles.
Yeah, so it was probably a tale of 2 halves. First half, Eagles probably dominated in the dry weather, and then the rain came, the Tigers suited their game style a bit more. So they're actually down 29 points at one stage.
The first quarter, he kicked 7 goals, I think, Eagles, 6 or 7 goals.
Well, it was a must-win for Richmond because, I mean, Top's 4 spot was on the line after the Pies won big the other day, and, I mean, Tigers probably got to win out from here to win the flag.
Yeah, they had more to play for.
Yeah.
But at the same time, West Coast almost have lost that home qualifying final.
Yeah. Well, I think, I still don't know watching the game, probably watched 3/4 of it. Don't know why teams let Tigers get away with Grimes or Voston. They really like to have 1 or 2 of those guys loose, especially with Rance out. You really want to have them one-on-one with the Kennedy or a Darling or an Oscar Allen. But every time I looked at it, Grimes or Voston was loose. So I think it's probably something to crack down on for coaches in the finals when they probably make their adjustments. I mean, home and away season, they're probably keeping some things close to their chest and they don't want to expose all the game plan.
Like Damien Harwick said, they weren't going to hide anything. They were just going to play.
Yeah.
So we'll see if Adam Simpson had kept something up his sleeve or something if they meet again.
That's the last thing you want. You want Grimes and Loston loose in attack, and obviously Rewalt two studs up. With 2 free kicks against, and they were obviously a huge talking point. The umpires the AFL's, I guess, come to their senses and change the rules. What do you think about that?
I think the umpire paid the right call.
Based on the rule,
right, yeah. But, I mean, it was brought in to stop players from kicking.
Yeah, the Toby Green incident,
to stop hitting him in the face pretty much. So, but, Rewald's one, I think it was the right call was made.
Howe had one, Jeremy Howe, on Queen's birthday, which I don't know why it's taken this long to change it, but obviously the furor about those decisions have made the AFL change it. So
it's for the better.
Yeah, I thought Mark Hutchings, that was a huge loss too, out early with an injury. He was playing on Kane Lambert, but if he went to Dusty in that second half when Dusty was on fire, could have played a huge role in the game.
Yeah, maybe that was what Simpson was doing, like Hutchins onto Lambert.
Yeah, instead of Dusty. That was really weird.
If they meet again in the finals, he'll go to Dusty or Cochin.
Yeah. So he's obviously got a huge record in finals. Shut down Sidebottom was probably the player of the finals until that point. Shut him down in the grand final. And
what's he got? Hamstring or something?
I think it's a hamstring. So hopefully he can play in finals.
Get it right, 4 weeks off and get him into the prelim or
save him.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the game? You obviously watched a fair bit of it.
I watched most of it. I didn't watch the third quarter, but I thought Prestia was the best early for Tigers, and he kept him in it. He's a really good wet weather player, so is Lambert. And Shai Bolden was pretty good too, actually. Yeah, we provided that dash. And Bolton and Dusty, they sort of, if the ball's in the Eagles forward, they sort of hang back a bit. So when it gets one, then they've got them, and they're in dangerous spots to kick it forward. There's stars on every line pretty much. So I'd like to see this as a grand final.
Oh yeah, best 2 teams.
I mean, Brisbane would be exciting, but these 2 teams are clearly the 2 best at the moment. Like we were saying, Tigers did have to win a lot more than the Eagles, so now they're setting themselves up with a home final. Well, they're pretty much a home final against the Cats. Grimes is important. He rolled his ankle. They must have given him a jab or something, and he came back. So potentially he could miss this week against Brisbane.
You'd save him, wouldn't you? For the
probably,
finals?
You'd probably back the Tigers in against Brisbane here. One player that needs to stand up for West Coast if they're to win it is Kennedy. So I thought he was really poor. It wasn't his conditions, but he could have done a lot more. He kicked 1 goal at the end, I think. But
he's had a lot of down games this season.
Yeah, he kicked 6 against us maybe 3 weeks ago, but since then he hasn't been firing. So get him right, because if he doesn't come right, I don't think they can win it. You can't rely on Darling on his own.
Himself,
Yeah, so it's that.
So hopefully we got that to review in about 4 weeks' time for the grand final. That game, anyway.
We might quickly talk a little bit about North's game.
So we'll move on to the next topic.
Yeah, I mean, we've already talked about it a little bit. But, I guess the game was unexpected. Didn't expect to win. Yeah. Port had a lot more to play for, but it was good to see the Kangaroos bounce back from kicking 1 goal last week. It's the first ever Footy podcast game, so I'm 1 up on you, so let's keep a tally.
I'm never going to the footy again, so it'll be 1-0 forever.
Free ticket too, that's good. You're lucky you didn't pay for the game.
Yeah, exactly.
So you guys haven't had we already mentioned you had the wood over us, so last 5 games you guys won, so it's good to peg one back. But it was all about Ben Brown. It was Ben Brown and Todd Goldstein show. Kicking 10 to be 4 ahead of the next, who is Cameron. So he's in pole position to win his first Coleman.
But Cameron's playing...
He's playing Gold Coast, yeah. He might be injured. Hopefully, maybe they rest him 1 more week. But even if Brown kicks maybe 2 or 3, I reckon...
playing this week?
Melbourne in Hobart.
Oh, he should win then.
He should kick a couple, unless it's raining heavily. But hoping, he's done enough. It's his home crowd as well, so it'd be good for him to get it then. Do you reckon he'll make All-Australian, Ben Brown? Wayne Carey wasn't.
I think his only chance is if he gets the Coleman, like you said, because
Mm.
obviously the Coleman. That's what you said, right? Coleman.
That's what I
Coleman
said,
left,
but since I said that, apparently you don't have to win the Coleman.
No,
It's not guaranteed.
has it,
like
has
Wayne
it
Carey
not,
was.
Has it not happened though?
I didn't check, but I'd
I
like
don't
to
think
check
I can
because
remember a Coleman medalist not.
yeah,
not
exactly,
making
yeah.
it. Even
So-
Roughead made it.
oh,
Yeah.
so it's unbelievable. Like I remember a few years ago, like when Goldstein was having good years.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was McIntosh who was having good years.
Hamish, yeah.
And then they were saying, oh, you need to have a couple of good years, then we'll consider you for Australian. So he did.
No, Ben Brown's he's kicked 50 goals in the last 3 years.
he
so that
has.
ball doesn't apply to
So
him.
I'm finding every time when a kangaroo player gets mentioned as an All-Australian, there's conditions and
Shut
it's
down.
bullshit.
Okay, well, hopefully he makes it.
Yeah, definitely. Just
So we got Todd Goldstein obviously had his best quarter probably ever, probably best game he's had in his career.
Quarter, yeah.
Dominated on all night in the air and on the ground too. So he beat two ruckmen, Laddams and Ryder. So
He had 17 score involved.
yeah, which I think might be a record this season anyway.
Because of the hit outs and stuff.
Yeah, and I thought Higgins was really classy. Every time he touches the ball, he seems to do good with it. We had a bit of a debate whether you should trade him out, what you should get. I think you should only get a first round pick for him.
I don't think we'll get a first round if we want to put him on the
then
table.
keep him. I think anyway.
Yeah, okay.
He's too good.
Yeah, I think the Kangaroos might have the same opinion as
Yeah.
you, but realistically, I think he's probably worth somewhere between pick 20 and pick 25.
Okay.
But no, I think he's too valuable. He's just not only on the field, but off the field, he's professional.
Yeah.
And, he's a
Good example.
a good face. Does media pretty well. So
Yeah,
if we're gonna get rid of anyone, it'll be Goldstein. So.
Okay. Well, that's what I was going to ask you next. You think? I think Geelong will come hard, pretty hard at him.
Yeah, but the reports are it's likely to stay. So
Okay.
don't think anyone's going. Maybe Mason Wood.
Yeah.
We might as well quickly talk about Wood a bit. So
Yeah.
he wasn't in the
Why
team
didn't he
this
play,
week.
yeah?
So he's just too hot and cold. He's been in the system for like 7 years now. He might be one of those players like Lincoln McCarthy that
Yeah, he's
could do
second
with a
chance.
fresh start. So if you can get a pick in the 30s for him, I'd be more than happy
Yeah.
to let him go.
Okay, and I thought I'll pay tribute to some former ex-Port players. So Piedad, I said he's got a 700k left leg, which I think is worth it in this league because you can see every time he touches the ball, he
Yeah,
just
it was good.
hits a target. Thought Piedad mopped up any inside 50, which wasn't much, but I thought he was pretty
He's
good
been
too.
really good, yeah. He'll probably get easily top 10 in our best and fairest, maybe top 5.
Yeah,
He'll
so
probably finish ahead of Polak, to be honest.
and some of the stats, so 207 less disposals, 21 less clearances, and 51 less contested possessions. So that's a biggest smashing as probably you can see on the score.
Yeah, we had
stats.
7 players get more than 30. 2 on
Seven?
7
Oh,
get
wow.
more than 30. 2 on 29, and we're never a high possession team.
Yeah.
Like we might get Cunnington and Higgins get 30 like every second week,
Yeah.
but never we're that high. So I just all clicked, I suppose, and you guys, just
Didn't turn
wasn't
up.
switched on. Okay, so I want to put the heat on Rockcliffe a bit.
Yeah.
Mark Fine from Footyology put him on the chopping block, said, he might not be considered for future plans because he was
Yeah.
dropped a few times, yeah?
Yeah, I thought his first 2 games this season were really good. Came back, he got a bit injured, had a few setbacks in terms of injury, so you can probably give him a pass there. When he came back for the sample, had 50 possessions. I think the first game back he played well, but since then he hasn't really. I've heard talk that Pal Pepper should get traded out, but I mean I'd keep Pal Pepper
keep
instead of
Sal Pepper,
Rockcliffe.
yeah.
Rockcliffe's got 10 more years on him, so
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be much of a, many clubs looking after Rockcliffe because I think he's got maybe 1 or 2 years left on the contract.
Yeah,
so,
it's like almost 30, I think.
yeah, list management I think's not been a strong suit. You can see Ryder's got.
Yeah.
Ryder probably go at the end of this year
He'll
too.
go to Giants, I think. That's been the word, yeah.
Well, he should. We shouldn't offer him more than 1 year. We got.
He's out of
Laddams.
contract, yeah? I
Yeah,
believe,
1 more year left.
One more. Okay, so trade him earlier. We might as well talk a little bit about this because I had a couple of points.
Yeah.
What do you do with Motlop, Trengove?
So Trengove will go. I would have thought. He's been racking up disposals every week. I don't think he's
But
had
he's
a bad
more of a
game.
depth player.
Yeah, he's a bit like Tumpus as well. Only gets played when we have injuries.
Is Tumpers on the list still? Was he?
No,
did
he got
delisted
delisted.
last
Yeah.
year. Okay.
Well, Sutcliffe got a game ahead of
Yeah.
Trengove, so I think Motlop hasn't got back in. I think he 5 the other week, but again, it's another example of poor list management. I'm not sure what you can do because Motlop's probably got probably 1 or 2 years left.
Someone like maybe Greater West Sydney or someone in that
Yeah.
mold might look at him, might give you a later pick. It will have to be a team in contention. But otherwise, I'd say just get rid of those list cloggers and keep Watts. I think he's injured obviously.
Yeah, well,
but
he was playing well at the time.
Before. Yeah, it's unlucky. But load up in second rounders this year. I think because they say from picks sort of 12 to like 30 is very even. So if you get 3 second rounders, you could maybe get some of those South Australians.
Well, apparently we're not playing 100% of the salary cap too, which I only found out about yesterday.
Yeah, Caroline Wilson broke that news.
Yeah, we've got.
And apparently you don't have money to pay that either.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what she was saying.
I'm very worried. I'm going to have to put another $1,000 in.
Koshi, write another book about finance.
Yeah, I know.
Some money.
And obviously, Hingle, I'll touch on that. So I heard him on the radio today. He actually admitted to the fact that if he doesn't make finals this year or next year, he gets sacked. So there's actually a clause on his contract, this year or next year.
Okay, so next
one
year
of one of those 2 years, So that puts the result into even bigger context. He could lose his job over this.
Yeah. So if you guys are 3-7 going into the bye next year, he won't be there.
Yeah, so it's interesting anyway.
Yeah.
Go on to on the spot questions.
Yeah, do you have a sponsor or unofficial?
I
on
did.
The spot,
Who
on
did
the
I
spot,
do?
Spencer.
No, I'm blanking now.
No one listens.
No one listens.
Okay, maybe green tea because I'm having one right now.
Yeah, one every week.
Yep. Thank you for buying it.
So I'll ask you first. So
next year you can come to my place for the whole.
You haven't invited me over yet.
It's too loud. You just hear my mom's sewing machine in the background.
So I'll ask you. So what do you think? Yeah, is Jamie Elliott back?
Probably. He kicked 5, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So without Cox there, I think they're
more space. Isn't
less.
it?
Yeah, exactly. So it might be a blessing in disguise, as I was saying. So guys like him, Josh Thomas, when Stephenson comes back, it might be a good thing. So a bit more unpredictability and make the defenders a bit more nervous. So
follow-up question: do you think they can win without a key tall, or do you need someone like a more rough-head?
You need a key tall. Yeah. More. That's a good idea. Throw him forward.
You can't go to Goey, Stevenson and Elliott as your main targets. I guess,
like my check's your third tall, to be honest. So
he's a good link player.
Yeah, if you can get more there, that's a good idea. But can they win it? No, they probably can, but they won't.
Yeah, I think they're not the top 3 teams.
Yeah.
Probably 5th.
So who do you think can make it? The 8th spot. Most of the Bulldogs are there now.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet against the Bulldogs in the form they're in. Yeah, 21 goals in a row against.
They just got to win. They just got to win against Adelaide.
12 goals in a row versus GWS. They'll probably get them in the first week.
Can they do it
in the same ground?
Yeah. Can they do it again?
I don't think they'll win. I think
they can
next year. I think next year is when the window will start opening up again, because I think Richmond, West Coast, possibly Brisbane and Collingwood, they're probably a bit ahead of Bulldogs. But I could be wrong. But
especially if they have to travel for the second week of the final, if they make it there, might be a bit of a hard task.
Yeah. So I'll ask you about Clayton Oliver. So did you see him berate Bailey Fritsch?
No.
What do you think of that?
No, I didn't. It was similar to the Stephen May thing with McDonald.
So I think the thing is
Frost, I think.
Yeah, well, he berated him. So Fritsch found a teammate in a better position than him. He berated him, and then 2 or 3 minutes later, he had a snap which he could have handballed to the side, a better target, and he did the same thing. So it probably sums up Melbourne's season.
It's under the microscope because they're doing shit.
Exactly. If they won, they wouldn't be talked about.
Yeah. And Stephen May did something
similar.
Yeah. He was on radio and they were talking about it. They asked him about it, and he was really good. He said that if he doesn't feel that a player in the back half isn't doing what he's meant to, he's gonna bring it up. And he said that Frost hasn't been confronted like that before. Yeah. So he was surprised by that, and they said they worked it out then, and in the future he wouldn't have to do it. So if it happens again in the future, he's just got to look at Frost, and he knows that.
Well, that's what you said with the good team. Maxwell and Heatshaw used to do it all the time, and they were in a successful team. So I don't think it's that bad.
Exactly. I think I'd rather see that than not.
So I'll ask you about the Bont non-suspension.
Yeah.
Is that fair or?
So what happened? He hit. Hine pretty much ran into him after he took the kick, and he just made him earn it. So it wasn't that bad, but he did get him high. He got him in the head, and
what's happened? What's his injury now?
So he fractured some
larynx.
Larynx. Yeah. So the match review officer didn't have the medical report, in time to assess.
Then you just wait a day. Yeah.
Exactly,
Doesn't make
you
sense.
wait, right? Because if the whole thing,
Amateur
if it's
hour.
just, if we're not judging the action and we're taking the result whatever into account when we're giving the punishment, then you wait. If that's a process, you get the report.
It's just an excuse so Bond can play and eat.
Exactly.
And
Otherwise,
that's what it looks like.
Otherwise, punish the action.
Yeah.
But that hasn't been the rule for the last 5 years or whatever. So it's unbelievable. He would have got probably 1 week, I reckon, if the report.
Well, 1 week they could miss the final.
Brownlow implications.
Oh, Brownlow as well too.
So it's just the AFL again.
Oh, that's
just
huge.
doing it's should become a story if it's not already.
So I praised him about the studs up, and this one's obviously I didn't know
This
about
one's a
until you
bigger
brought it
one,
up.
yeah.
So this
Like
one's massive.
it was. I don't think it'll get that attention.
Yeah.
Because
Everyone loves Bond too.
yeah,
It's not like
exactly.
it's
He's probably he's been
Valentine
really
or
good. I think
something,
he's going to
yeah.
win the coaches award.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just annoys me that the action wasn't bad itself. I thought the action was just a free kick, maybe a 15-minute penalty. No way he should get suspended for the action. But
Result.
But the result, definitely, yeah.
That's what happens if you hit a guy and it gets concussed. You
Yeah,
get a
exactly.
week,
And that's what we're judging suspensions on, not the action.
That's
but
no good.
it's unbelievable. Do you have a question for me? Another
I think that's a hot take.
Yeah, I'm very heated.
So maybe fringe players. You got any that may appeal to clubs?
Yes,
that
a
we
couple.
don't know about?
Yeah, like Mason Wood, similar sort of type.
Yeah,
but
he'd be a good kid.
Yeah, the other one, they just with Wood, Wood for Papley, and
Okay. Yeah.
would have to give up something as well with Wood, but that's been talked about in the forums, which is good. I'll do that.
Yeah.
But Brendan, what's his name? Cedric Cox from Brisbane.
Free.
Yeah.
Oh, Brisbane. Oh, he's the rock. Man.
He's the dashing halfback.
Okay, he's
the
not getting,
Indigenous player.
He's not getting played, right?
No, he's not. He was drafted with I think McLuggage and Witherton a couple of years ago.
Okay.
So he's not playing. I don't know why. Haven't been following him closely, but he had a good first year.
Yeah.
But yeah, it might be someone the Kangaroos or like a club that needs a running halfback one look at from country Victoria.
Okay.
And also Callum Archie is the other one. I think we mentioned.
I really rated him back
Yeah,
in
it was
the day.
pick 7, I think. So maybe he's one of.
I don't know why he went. I mean, he's going back home. Maybe he can go to Freo now that.
Is he
Hill
from?
and Langdon.
Are they from Western
He's
Australia?
from Western Australia. That's why he wanted to go home. So with Hill and Langdon maybe out. I
Yeah,
think
maybe
he should
someone.
switch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And Rankin. No, I'm not saying he's kind of thing, but
Isaac.
but he made his comeback finally, and he had 14 possessions and kicked a good goal. I think.
He'll be a star, I think.
He's already signed on for a couple the extension.
Good loyalty.
I think that's it for the questions.
Yeah. So we've got a new segment. Oh, you've got a new
Oh
segment this
yeah.
week. Introduce
So
that one.
this guy called Nick Smith retired. So who the hell is our segment? Well, yeah, just gonna be players that we don't know. Do you know what he looks like? A little bit.
Brun, like mop hair style.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's very. By the sounds of it, sounds like a guy with like a short hair, right? Nick Smith, that clean cut sort of guy. But after 211 games in 13 seasons, he's retiring.
Yeah.
I think he's had hamstring injuries this year and hasn't been able to get on the park.
Yeah, but.
Do you know much about it?
Yeah, so I think what I remember for anyways, his battles with Cyril, who was his former schoolmate. So he got the better of him
at Scotch, probably. Right?
Yeah, Scotch College. Yeah, so he got the better of him that 2012 grand final, and I think Longmire summed it up in the press conference. He said, we always sent him to the best small forward, whether it was Cyril or Wingard or Matera or whoever it was, and he took care of him. So.
Yeah, so he was All-Australian in 2014. So I hope Reece Shaw has a good relationship with him because would love him at the Kangaroos as a coach, as a coaching,
defensive.
Even if he wants to play VFL, whatever. But no, apparently Rampy credits a lot of his development to Nick Smith. So
Rampy's a captain now, so
is he?
And their best defender probably.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. Co-captain.
So yeah, he would be a good get. Hope he's from Victoria.
I think he is. Yeah.
Do you have should we go on to the hot take?
Yeah, so hot takes, so it is, Ross Lyon sacking, so hopefully we're the first pod that actually gets this on the pod because he got sacked today. So it was a huge power play by your boy, Peter Bell, he's a two-time premiership player for you guys.
Yeah, 2-time, yeah.
Kicked 4 goals in a grand final.
Did he? Okay.
in your 99. Oh, you didn't watch it,
I
did you?
think
Maybe
Grant,
95.
Grant did.
Maybe
Shane
Grant. Maybe I'm getting them mixed up then.
Maybe
but
he did kick a few. I don't know.
He's a great player for you guys. So CEO Steve Rogic resigned too. So I think Peter Bell will
Yeah,
be
he was so quick. I had AFL 99 on PlayStation. Peter Bell was the quickest player ever in
quick.
that.
He wasn't quick though, was he?
I think it was nippy.
was short,
He
he
was
was short.
nippy, yeah. But
Okay.
on the game, he was so good. Haven't
Okay.
played AFL 99?
I
It's a
might have
good
played at a
game.
friend's house,
Mhm.
Jeffrey. Yeah, so I guess since the 2005 15 grand final, so they've only won, Freo has only won 29 matches out of 87.
Hmm.
So obviously that fall from grace, which you brought up the other week, because I said Melbourne's fall from grace has been huge, but they went from a grand final to 4 wins the next year. In 2016, I thought he'd get re-signed honestly after the 7-4 start. They had that huge win versus the Pies at the G.
They were playing good footy,
Yeah,
attacking
Walters-
footy, yeah. But they
Well-
were hot and cold.
Yeah, well, they've lost 4 matches after that, and I mean Hill and Langdon are probably going to go.
Yeah.
I guess the question I have is what's his legacy as a coach? Is it as a
It's a bad, it's a
Yeah.
sort of a stain. Like,
No
I guess,
premiership.
yeah, no premiership, but I think he'll be remembered as a good coach,
yeah?
but one that was didn't do the game any
Yeah.
benefits in his
A real
tenure.
defensive coach.
Yeah. But in saying that, I think he had really good relationships with his players because
Yeah.
Rewalt and Dos Santo, when they talk about
Yeah,
him,
love him, yeah.
they love him. Yeah. So
Even Fife and Pavlich, they love him too.
could he
so-
coach anywhere else?
Well, that's the thing. I think it's got to be a team that's on the verge of success. That's when he took over the Saints after Grant Thomas, and then Freo with Mark Harvey, and he took
Yeah, I
the
agree.
Saints and Freo to where those guys couldn't. Took them to grand finals, and look, a Scarlet toe poke, Millen bad bounce. Freo
He could
really,
be, yeah.
well, Freo really inaccurate too in that grand final early. Fife missed a couple of set shots,
Yeah.
so he could easily be a 2 or 3 time premiership coach. So it's the luck of the draw sometimes, but
Yeah, it's either has the game gone past him as a spectacle really because
Yeah.
more teams are becoming attacking. You look at Brisbane, Richmond,
yeah.
West Coast. But if there was a team that needed someone like him, might be go to West Sydney if they decide to move on.
I think that's probably the best bet. 'cause
Yeah,
if they
they've
think
got
Leon
the list.
Cameron won't.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll watch this space. Anyone to replace him? You think? There's not many. is
Longmuir
there?
and Sumich are probably
They'll
the
be
2
talked
hot
up, yeah.
favourites. And we talked about Sumich earlier with the
Yeah.
under-18s when he took Western Australia their first championship ever. So,
Yeah.
so maybe next week we'll preview that one.
Yeah.
Do the
I think David Hale's interim
yeah.
coach. Yeah.
Oh, they're playing nice.
That's
this
about
week too.
six ex North players. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's
Coaching.
been 3 from 3 this year. So can it be 4 from 4 for
Not enough
rebounds?
time, maybe. So next week we'll probably just do our 22-man All-Australian squad after the home and away season's done, and we might go through some unsung players that can win a final.
Might be
maybe
our
do 4
last
each.
episode.
For a while, yeah. Unless you
Yeah.
get a guest, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll do a grand final
Yeah, we'll 100%.
review. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Catch you next week,
See you guys.
and we're gonna have a couple of seconds
New
of
phone,
silence. Yeah.
Chanaka?